Introduction about Russia. Russia, formerly called the Russian Federation, holds the title of the largest country in the world by land area. Covering more than 17 million square kilometers, it spans across both Eastern Europe and Northern Asia, sharing borders with several countries and boasting a diverse geography that includes expansive forests, mountains, and ranges. Flags. The Russian flag, consisting of three horizontal stripes, white at the top, blue in the middle, and red at the bottom, has been a symbol of the country for many years. The flag's design was adopted in 1991 after the collapse of the Soviet Union. White, often interpreted to represent peace, purity, and the openness of the Russian people. Blue, frequently seen as symbolizing loyalty, faithfulness, and vastness of the Russian sky or the Russian Orthodox Church. And red, commonly associated with strength, bravery, and the historical sacrifices of the Russian people. Capital. The capital of Russia is Moscow. Moscow is not only a political and administrative center of Russia but also the largest city in the country. It serves as the seat of the Russian government, including the President Office, the Russian Parliament, Federal Assembly, and the numerous other governmental institutions. Moscow is also an important cultural, economic, and historical hub, known for landmarks such as the Kremlin, Red Square, and St. Basil Cathedral. It plays a significant role in Russia's global influence, hosting international businesses, embassies, and major events. Population. As of October 18, 2024, Russia's population is 144,573,942. The estimated population for mid-2024 is 144,823,423. Russia ranks ninth in the world by population with 75% of its population living in urban areas. Ethnicity. Ethnicity refers to a group of people who share common cultural traits such as language, traditions, religions, and history. It's more about shared cultural identity and heritage. Race. For race, for example, people may be classified into racial categories like Caucasian, Central Asian, Mongoloid, and Jewish.
Here's the background about Russia.
Russia, the largest country in the world, covers a vast expanse of areas from Eastern Europe to Northern Asia, spanning an incredible 17 million square kilometers. Russia has now become a powerful political, economic, and social entity in our modern world. The history of Russia traced back to the history of the people called Slavs. In 862, the first East Slavic state, known as the Rus state, was founded and led by Viking Oleg of Novgorod, in the area between the Volga and Dnieper river basins. In 882, it captured Kiev, uniting the northern and southern lands of the Eastern Slavs under one authority. In 1998, Christianity was introduced in the Rus state from the Orthodox Christian Byzantine Empire by Prince Vladimir I. His son, Yaroslav the Wise, who ruled the state from 1019 to death, introduced the first code of law, Ruskia Pravada. Under his reign, Kiev then soon became the center of politics and culture in Eastern Europe. From Grand Duchy of Moscow to the Russian Empire, 1283 to 1917. In the 13th century, the Mongols invaded Kievan Rus and established the Golden Horde, with the Rus' principalities as their vassals. In 1480, Moscow gained its independence from Mongol rule, forming the Grand Duchy of Moscow or Muscovy. In 1547, Ivan IV, or Ivan the Terrible, became the first Tsar, Emperor of Russia, transforming the Grand Duchy of Moscow into the Tsardom of Russia, with Moscow as the predominant state. From 1551 to 1700, Russia grew by 35,000 square kilometers per year and was transformed into the Russian Empire in 1721 under the reign of Peter the Great, with St. Petersburg as the new capital. The next century witnessed the expansion of the empire, stretching over three continents: Europe, Asia, and North America. In 1914, Russia entered World War I on the side of the Allied powers, including Great Britain, France, Russia, Italy, Japan, and the United States, against the Central Powers, including German, Austria-Hungary, Ottoman, and Bulgaria. The rise and fall of the Soviet Union, 1922 to 1991. The Russian Revolution in 1917 ended the Russian imperial rule, resulting in the formation of the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic. The Russian Civil War broke out later that year and ended in 1923 with the establishment of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR, the Soviet Union. The capital was moved from St. Petersburg to Moscow. Vladimir Lenin ruled the Soviet Union until his death in 1924, when Joseph Stalin came to power. Under the rule of Stalin, the country was transformed from a peasant society to a military and industrial power. On September 1, 1939, World War II broke out between the Allied and Axis powers. As part of a non-aggression with Nazi Germany, the Soviet Union invaded and annexed the eastern regions of Poland, followed by its annexation of Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Romania. In June 1941, Germany launched Operation Barbarossa against the Soviet Union. In response to this, the Soviets joined the Allies in the war against Germany. On May 8, 1945, after the fall of Berlin to Soviet troops and Hitler's suicide, Germany surrendered unconditionally, marking the end of the war in Europe. After Japan's surrender on September 2, 1945, World War II ended with a total victory for the Allies. Following the war, the Soviet Union formed various Soviet satellite states and emerged as a superpower and rival to the United States in the nearly half-century-long Cold War. After Stalin's death in 1953, Nikita Khrushchev, a powerful Soviet politician, came to power, embarking on a policy of de-Stalinization. Under his rule, the Soviet Union grew rapidly, with the world's first human-made satellite and the first human into space. In 1980, the Summer Olympics were held in Moscow. In 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev became the Soviet leader and was later elected president in 1990. In the same year, he won the Nobel Peace Prize for bringing the Cold War to a peaceful end. In December 1991, following a failed Communist Party coup against Gorbachev, the Soviet Union was dissolved and Gorbachev resigned. Russian Federation, 1991 to present. Following the dissolution, all of the Soviet republics emerged as fully independent post-Soviet states. Among these, Russia, or the Russian Federation, became known as the Soviet Union's primary de facto internationally recognized successor state. Boris Yeltsin was the first elected president of Russia. In 2000, Vladimir Putin, a former KGB officer, was elected president. He was then re-elected in 2012 and served till now. In 2014, following the Ukrainian Revolution, war broke out between Russia and Ukraine. In 2018, the FIFA World Cup was hosted in Russia. On February 24, 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, escalating the ongoing Russo-Ukrainian War. This led to international sanctions being imposed against Russia. In March, Russia was expelled from the Council of Europe and suspended from the United Nations Human Rights Council in April.
Here's the geography and popular tourist destination in Russia.
Geography. Russia. Russia, the largest country in the world, is located in both Eastern Europe and Northern Asia. Spanning over 17 million square kilometers, it is covered more land than any other nation, representing about 11% of the Earth's total land area, which is nearly twice of the size of the largest country, Canada. Russia's vast territory stretches from the tundra in Arctic Circle to the mountains of the Caucasus and volcanic plains of Kamchatka. It is bordered by 16 countries and has coastline along Arctic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Caspian Sea, and Black Sea. Major geographical features of Russia. Key geographical features. Mountains. The Ural Mountains, which divide Europe and Asia. The Caucasian Mountains and the Kamchatka Peninsula with active volcanoes. Plains. The European plain and West Siberian plains cover large areas with forests, steppes, and grasslands. Lakes and rivers. Lake Baikal, the world's deepest lake, the Volga River, and the Caspian Sea. Lake Baikal is one of the tourist spots in Russia and the world's deepest lake. Volga River. As you can see in the PPT, the wonder and the beautiful water in Volga River, and you can use crystal boat to explore the river. Caspian Sea is used for route for transportation and trading. That boat is traveling to another country to trade some foods, equipment, etc. Tundra and taiga. Expansive regions of cold and remote landscape home to unique wildfire. Tundra comes from the Finnish word tunduri, meaning treeless plain. It is noted for its frost-molded landscape, extremely low temperatures, little precipitation, poor nutrients, and short growing seasons. Dead organic material functions as a nutrient pool. Taiga, a most northern forest that consists mostly of cone-producing trees, as pines, spruce, and firs, and begins where the tundra ends. Here's the top tourist destinations. Moscow, the capital city, a blended modernity and history. Here's the highlight in Moscow. Red Square, the heart of Moscow, surrounded by landmarks like St. Basil's Cathedral and Lenin's Mausoleum. The Kremlin, a fortified complex, houses museums and government buildings. Arbat Street, a lively pedestrian street full of shops, cafes, and street performers. Why visit Moscow? It is a cultural and political hub that showcases Russia's evolution through centuries. St. Petersburg, the Russia's imperial capital known for its elegance and artistry. Here's the highlight in St. Petersburg. Hermitage Museum, a vast collection of historical artifacts in the Winter Palace. Peter's Hope Palace, famous for its grand fountains and opulent architectures. Church of Savior on Spilled Blood, an iconic church with colorful domes and mosaics. Why visit St. Petersburg? St. Petersburg is known as the Venice of the North. St. Petersburg is celebrated for its waterways, cultural festival, and European charm. Lake Baikal, the oldest and deepest freshwater lake in the world. Highlights in Lake Baikal: nature trails, scenic sport for hiking, camping, and ecotourism. Okon Island, a spiritual and cultural hub for legends and traditions. Ice adventure winters, activities like ice skating and dog sledding on the frozen lake. Why visit Lake Baikal? Lake Baikal, it's a haven for nature lovers, offering unparalleled beauty and biodiversity. Golden Ring Cities, a circuit of ancient cities showcase medieval Russian culture. Here's the highlights. Vladimir and Suzdal, known for ancient monasteries and golden dome cathedrals. Rostov-Veliki, famous for its Kremlin and scenic lake views. Yaroslavl, a UNESCO World Heritage City in historic churches. Why visit Golden Ring cities? It is perfect for exploring Russia's traditional architecture and countrysides. Kazan, the capital of Tartazan, where European and Asian culture meets. Here's the highlights. Kazan Kremlin, a UNESCO World Heritage Site with the Kul Sharif Mosque. Bauman Street, a pedestrian zone with shops, cafes, and historical monuments. Temple of All Regions, a symbolic architectural complex representing global faiths. Why visit Kazan? Kazan, known for its cultural diversity and rich history blending Russia and Tatar influence. Sochi, a popular resort city on Black Sea, known for its subtropical climate. Here's the highlights. Rusal Kotor Ski Resort, a world-class destination for winter sports. Sochi National Park, a haven for outdoor activities and wildfire explorations. Olympic Park, built for 2014 Winter Olympic, known for modern entertainment hub. Why visit Sochi? Sochi offers both summer beach vacation and winter adventurers. Mount Elbrus, the tallest peak in Europe, part of the Caucasus Mountain. Here's the highlight about Mount Elbrus. Mountaineering, a favorite destination for climbers worldwide. Cable car rides. Easy access to panoramic view of the surrounding peaks. Why visit Mount Elbrus? It's ideal for adventure seekers and those looking to explore pristine mountain landscapes. Veliki Novgorod, one of Russia's oldest cities and key history sites. Here's the highlights. Novgorod Kremlin, a features Saint Sophia Cathedral, the oldest church in Russia. Yaroslav's Country and Market, a historic trade area with medieval architecture. Vitoslavsky Museum, showcasing traditional wooden architecture and folk crafts. Why visit Veliki Novgorod? Offers a glimpse into the origins of Russia's statehood and culture. Russia have four seasons: summer, autumn, spring, and winter. Winter, December to February. Winters in Russia are typical cold and harsh, with temperature often dropping well below freezing. In northern regions such as Siberia, temperatures can fall as low as -40 Celsius. Snowfall is common in many areas, and winter can last from November to March, especially in northern and central regions. Spring, March to May. Spring is transitional season, with temperatures gradually rising. In the early part of spring, snow may still be on the ground in some areas, but May, temperatures can reach 10 Celsius to 20 Celsius. The weather can be quite unpredictable, with rain showers common, especially in central and southern Russia. Autumn, September to November. Autumn is a beautiful but short season in Russia, with temperature gradually cooling as the country heads into winter. September is typically mild, but by October and November, temperature can dip below freezing in northern and central Russia. Leaves change color, creating beautiful landscape, particularly in areas like Moscow and St. Petersburg. Summer, June to August. Summer in Russia vary depending on the region, but they tend to mild to warm is most area. In the southern parts, like the Black Sea coast, temperature can rise above 30 Celsius, while in the north, such as Siberia, temperatures might range from 50 Celsius to 25 Celsius. Summer is the season of the white night in northern cities like St. Petersburg, where the sun barely sets.
Language. The official language of Russia is Russian, a Slavic language using the Cyrillic script spoken by over 150 million people. It is primary language for government, education, media, and businesses. While various ethnic groups in Russia speak their own languages, Russian remains the dominant language for communication across the country. Other regional languages like Tatar and Chechen are spoken in specific areas, but Russia's is essential for participation in Russia's social, economic, and political life.
Laws and politics. Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, born on October 7, 1952, is a Russian politician and former intelligence officer, who is the fourth president of Russia, serving since 2012 and previously as the second president from 2000 to 2008. Putin also served as a prime minister from 1999 to 2000, and again from 2008 to 2012. He is the longest-serving Russian or Soviet leader since Joseph Stalin. Vladimir Putin won a record of fifth term in the March 2024 presidential election, with a significant majority extending his rule until 2030. Putin has been a central figure in Russian politics since 1999, previously serving as both president and prime minister. His recent re-election comes amid ongoing international scrutiny over alleged irregularities in the election process and his continued policies regarding the Ukraine conflict. Putin's leadership has been marked by efforts to consolidate political control and strengthen Russia's global positions, especially in Eastern Europe and former Soviet regions. Laws and politics. Politics. Government type of Russia is a federal semi-presidential republic. This means it has a strong president alongside a prime minister. President. The president is the most powerful figure in Russia, overseeing foreign policy, defense, and significant domestic policies. The president is elected every 6 years and can serve 2 consecutive terms but can return after a break. Prime Minister. The Prime Minister manages the country's day-to-day administration, like the economy and social services. The Prime Minister is appointed by the President. Parliament. Russia Parliament is called the Federal Assembly, which has 2 parts. The State Duma, which is the lower house. Members are elected by the public and they pass laws. And the second one is Federation Council, or upper house. Members represent regional governments and handle local interests. Dominant political party. United Russia is the main party, supporting President Vladimir Putin. Other parties exist, but United Russia has a stronghold on politics. Elections. Presidential elections are held every 6 years. Parliamentary elections for the State Duma happen every 5 years. There have been concerns about election fairness, with reports of election manipulation and limits on opposition. Laws. Legal system. Russia follows a civil law system, meaning laws are based on written codes and statutes. Constitution. The Russian Constitution is the highest law. It defines government structure, citizen rights, and presidential powers. Court system. Constitutional Court decides if laws follow the Constitution. Supreme Court handles civil and criminal cases, and arbitration courts manages business and economic disputes. Rights and freedoms. The Constitution guarantees freedom of speech, press, and assembly. But in practice, these rights are often restricted. The government has strong control over media, and there are limitations on public protest and criticism of the government. The last one is regions. Russia has 85 regions, like republics, territories, and cities, each with some local autonomy, but most power remains with the central government. Religion. We listed 3 main religions in Russia. The largest religion is Russian Orthodox Christianity. For the second largest religion is Islam, and there are also smaller communities of Jews, Buddhists, and Protestants.
Technology. Technology sectors in Russia. Aerospace and space exploration. Russia has been leader in space technology since the Soviet era. Achievement like launching Sputnik, sending the first-time human Yuri Gagarin into the space, and the ongoing role on Roscosmos in international space missions. Current project, lunar exploration, Mars mission, and collaboration with NASA. Nuclear technology. Russia is global leader in nuclear power and weapons technology. It has the world's largest nuclear reactors fleet and continues to innovate in nuclear fusion, reactors, and energy security. Military technology. Russia maintains one of the most advanced military technology sectors, including development of hypersonic missiles, drones, and cybersecurity capabilities. The defense industry is state-driven with advanced systems like the S-400 missile defense system and T-14 Armata tank. IT software development. Russia has growing IT sector with strength in software development, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence, which is AI. Companies like Yandex, Russia's Google, and Kaspersky Lab Global Security and Company are significant players. High-level education in STEM field contributes to strong talent pool in IT and research. Artificial intelligence and robotics. Russia has made strides in AI, particularly in military and industrial robotics, with initiative by state-owned companies and research institutions. Russian AI is also focused on facial recognition, natural language processing, and predictive analytics. Arts. Russia is renowned for its contribution to various forms of arts, especially painting, literature, music, dance, and architecture. Here are some of the most iconic and celebrated forms of Russian arts. Icon painting. Rooted in Eastern Orthodox Christianity, Russian iconography began as early as the 10th century and remained a cherished art form. Icons are religious painting on wood, often depicting saints and holy figures, and are typically painted in highly stylized, symbolic manner. Andrei Rublev, one of Russia's most famous icon painters, is celebrated for high-skill spiritual works. Classical literature. Russian literature has produced some of the world's most influential authors, including Leo Tolstoy, Fyodor Dostoevsky, and Anton Chekhov. Works like War and Peace, Crime and Punishment, and Chekhov's short story and plays delve deeply in themes of morality, existentialism, and the human conditions, shaping literary traditions worldwide. Architecture. Russian architecture is notable for its diversity, from the onion domes of the Kremlin and St. Basil Cathedral in Moscow to the grandiose palace of St. Petersburg. The colorful domes of St. Basil Cathedral, with its intricate patterns and vibrant colors, have become a symbol of Russian art and culture. Ballet. Russia is the powerhouse of ballet, with the Bolshoi and Mariinsky theaters, famous for world-class performances. Russia ballet dancers such as Anna Pavlova and Mikhail Baryshnikov and choreographers like Maurice Petipa have set the standard for classical ballet and introduced iconic work like Swan Lake, The Nutcracker, and The Sleeping Beauty by composers like Tchaikovsky. Avant-garde art. The Russian avant-garde movement of the early 20th century broke ground with artists like Kazimir Malevich, who created Black Square, one of the first purely abstract works. Vasily Kandinsky, another pioneer, is often regarded as founder of abstract. This movement influenced modern art and inspired countlessly future styles.
Beliefs and values. Russia are deeply rooted at Orthodox Christianity, emphasizing family, community, and national pride, with a strong work ethic and a profound appreciation for education, literature, and the arts, while also incorporating rich tradition and folk practices that reflect a deep connection to history and nature. Work culture. The work culture in Russia is generally formal and emphasizes hierarchy, respect, and professionalism. Here are some key characteristics. Number 1, hierarchy and respect for authority. Russian workplaces are often hierarchical with clear distinction between management and employees. Decisions are usually made by top leadership and employees are expected to follow instruction carefully. Number 2, formality and professionalism. Formality in dress and communication is typically in Russian work environments. Titles and last names are often used, especially in professional settings. Number 3, focus on punctuality. While punctuality is valued, meeting may sometimes start late due to discussion aimed to building rapport. However, being on time is still considered a sign of respect. Number 4, building relationship. Trust and personal relationship are essential in Russian business culture. Russians often prefer to do business with people they know well, so developing trust is the important for long-term partnership. Number 5, high expectation for hard work. Dedication and hard work are highly regarded. Russians are generally expected to be diligent, and there may be less flexibility regarding work hours compared to some Western culture. Norms in Russia. Respect for elders and authority. Russians generally show a high level of respect towards elders, authority figures, and superiors in the workplace and community settings. Formality in greetings and address. In professional or formal setting, Russian typically use titles and surnames, especially when addressing someone they don't know well or someone in a higher position. Punctuality. While punctuality in casual setting can be flexible, it's expected to be on time for business meetings or formal gatherings as a sign of respect. Value of family loyalty. Families are highly valued, with many Russians maintaining close relationship with extended family. Practices. Celebrating New Year and Orthodox Christmas. New Year's Eve, December 31, is the main winter celebration with gift exchange and gatherings, while Orthodox Christmas, January 7, is celebrated with religious services and tradition foods. Drinking tea and hosting guests. Offering tea to guests is a common act of hospitality, usually accompanied by snack like pastries, candies, or biscuit. Observing Victory Day, May 9. Victory Day commemorates the end of military parades, laying flowers, and commonly honoring veterans and war history. Giving flowers according to tradition. Flowers as a common gift given in odd numbers for celebration. Removing shoes indoors. Russians typically remove their shoes when entering a home to keep it clean, often wearing indoor sleeping provided by the host, a practice rooted in respect for cleanliness.
Ethics. The first one is collectivism versus community. Collectivism in Russia is a value deeply rooted in its history, especially during the Soviet era, when the emphasis was on the welfare of the group rather than individual success. This sense of community remains strong in modern Russia, where individuals often come together for the common good. Example of this is Russians value mutual aid within neighborhoods and local communities. For instance, communal tasks like snow clearing or repairs in apartment complexes are often approached collaboratively. Loyalty and duty to family and friends. Family holds a central place in Russian culture, and ethical behavior often revolves around supporting and prioritizing family and close friends. This duty extends to providing financial, emotional, and practical assistance, reflecting a deep sense of loyalty. Example of this, multi-generational households are common, with youngest family members caring for elders. Third is patriotism versus loyalty, or patriotism and loyalty to the state. Patriotism in Russia is not just a political stance, but a deeply ingrained ethical value. Russians take pride in their nation's history, culture, and resilience, often linking their personal identity to the strength and achievements of the state. Example of this, national holidays like Victory Day or May 9 are celebrated with great fervor to honor the sacrifices made by previous generations. Second is loyalty to the state is also evident in public support for national interest and pride in global achievements such as space exploration and sports victories. Fourth is respect for authority and hierarchy. A respect for hierarchy is a fundamental aspect of Russian culture, evident in family, education, workplace, and government structure. This value reflects a long-standing tradition of organized authority, dating back to the Tsarist and Soviet eras. Example of this, in the workplace, employees typically follow a chain of command, and decision-making is centralized. The last one is moral pragmatism. Russian ethics often incorporate a sense of pragmatism, focusing on what is practical and necessary, rather than strictly adhering to formal rules or idealistic principles. This trait developed during times of hardship, such as wars and economic crisis where survival required adaptability. Example of this, ethical decisions may be flexible and context-dependent, reflecting a focus on achieving practical outcomes rather than rigidly following protocol. Business etiquettes. First is formality in greetings. Handshakes are standard, but they're often firm and accompanied by eye contact. Use titles and last names unless invited to be more informal. Second, punctuality. Being on time shows respect, though meetings may start a bit late due to discussions over small talk, which helps build trust. Third is dress code. Business attire is generally conservative, suits and ties for men, and modest, well-tailored clothing for women. Fourth is building relationship. Russians often prefer doing business with people they know and trust, expect to spend time getting to know each other, as personal relationships are essential. Direct communication. Russians appreciate straightforward, clear communication. They may ask direct questions and expect honesty in return. Last is gift giving. Small gifts may be appropriate for business associates, especially if visiting a home, though avoid overly expensive items. Key characteristics. First one is resilience. Russians are known for their ability to endure hardships and adapt to challenging situations, a trait shaped by Russia's often harsh climate and complex history. Next is hospitality. Russians value hospitality and often go out of their way to make guests feel welcome, frequently offering food, tea, and other forms of generosity. Directness. Russians tend to be straightforward in communication, valuing honesty and clarity. They often express themselves directly rather than using indirect or overly polite language. Next is patriotism. There is a strong sense of national pride rooted in Russia's cultural history, achievements in science and the arts, and notable role in global affairs. The last one is community orientation. Relationships and loyalty to family and close friends are very important. Russians often have tight-knit social circle and place a high value on trust within this group. Work-life balance. Standard work week. The typical work week is 40 hours, usually from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., with a 1-hour lunch break. Holidays and vacations. Russians have several public holidays and employees are entitled to at least 28 days of paid vacation per year, which is higher than in many countries. Family time. Family is highly valued, and weekends are often dedicated to spending time with family and friends. It's common to enjoy meals together and go out to nature. Work culture. There is a strong work ethic, but the culture has been gradually shifting towards better work-life balance, especially in big cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg, where flexible work arrangements are becoming more common. Last is after-work activities. Russians enjoy a variety of leisure activities after work, such as going to the theater, exercising, and socializing in cafes or at home. Here are 12 trivias about Russia. Largest country by area. Russia is the world's largest country, covering more than 17 million square kilometers, which is about 11% of the world's landmass. It spans 11 time zones from Europe to Asia, and its sheer size contributes to its diverse climates and landscapes. Lake Baikal, the deepest lake. Located in Siberia, Lake Baikal is the world's deepest and oldest freshwater lake. It reaches depths of about 1,642 meters or 5,387 feet and holds around 20% of the world's unfrozen fresh water. Birthplace of space exploration. Russia launched the first human-made satellite, Sputnik 1, in 1957. Marking the beginning of the space age, in 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human to orbit Earth, cementing Russia's key role in space exploration. Rich in natural resources. Russia has vast reserves of oil, natural gas, coal, and precious metals, making it one of the world's most resource-rich nations. It's the second largest producer of natural gas and among the top producers of oil. Trans-Siberian Railway, the longest railway. The Trans-Siberian Railway, stretching over 9,289 kilometers, or 5,772 miles from Moscow to Vladivostok, is the longest railway line in the world. It takes about 7 days to travel its full length. Matryoshka dolls, also known as Russian nesting dolls, are a set of wooden dolls that fit inside each other. Each doll is hollow and they get smaller as they go inside. The largest doll holds all the others, and the smallest is a solid piece. They are often painted with colorful traditional Russian designs, usually featuring women in folk dress. Matryoshka dolls are a symbol of Russian culture and are popular souvenirs. They represent family, unity, and continuity, with each smaller doll fitting snugly inside the larger one. Russian language complexity. Russian is one of the most widely spoken languages in Eurasia and is known for its challenging grammar and Cyrillic script. It has complex cases and inflections, which makes it tough and non-native speakers to learn. Two capitals, Moscow and St. Petersburg. While Moscow is the political and economic capital, St. Petersburg is often called the cultural capital. Known for its palaces and rich history, St. Petersburg was the imperial capital until 1918. Home of the Bolshoi and Mariinsky theaters. Russia has a deep tradition in ballet and classical music, with world-renowned theaters such as the Bolshoi in Moscow and the Mariinsky in St. Petersburg. They are considered leading cultural institutions globally. Russian Orthodox faith. The Russian Orthodox faith, or Church, is the country's largest religion and has played a crucial role in Russian culture and identity. Its ornate churches with distinctive onion domes and iconography are iconic Russian architecture. Winters can be brutal. Russian winters are famously cold, especially in Siberia. The village of Oymyakon in Siberia is one of the coldest inhabited places on Earth, with winter temperatures that can drop below 50 degrees Celsius or 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Popular sports. Football or soccer. Football is one of the most beloved sports in Russia, with billions of fans supporting domestic leagues and international competitions. Ice hockey. Ice hockey is a national obsession, particularly in the cold northern and Siberian regions. Figure skating. Sports synonyms are synonymous with Russian dominance, love for its artistry, athleticism. Tennis. Tennis has grown significantly in popularity, producing numerous world-class players. For question number 1, what are some of the country's most important values and beliefs that makes them distinctive and special? We listed 5 most important values and beliefs of Russia. The first one, strong family bonds. Family is central in Russian culture, with respect for elders and close-knit relationships being highly valued. Hospitality. Russians are known for their warm hospitality, often treating guests as family and offering food and drinks generously. Resilience. A history of challenges has shaped a culture of perseverance, adaptability, and strength. Love for arts and culture. Russians deeply appreciate literature, music, ballet, and other forms of art with rich heritage of iconic creators like Tolstoy and Tchaikovsky. Spirituality and religion. Russian Orthodox Christianity is a major influence shaping traditions, holidays, and moral values. For question number 2, What are some key cultural differences in how people in a country view family, community, and work? For family, strong bonds. Family is highly valued, and extended family often plays a big role in people's lives. Respect for elders. Elders are respected and often consulted for advice. Last is support system. Families provide emotional and financial support even for adult children. For community, close connections. Russians value close-knit friendships, and communities' relationships are often deep and loyal. Hospitality. Being welcoming and generous to guests is a big cultural trait. Shared experiences. There is a focus on collective success and helping each other, especially during tough times. For work, dedication. Russians often take pride in hard work and persistence. Hierarchy matters. Workplaces are usually hierarchical, with clear respect for authority. And last is team focus. Collaboration is valued, but personal relationships with colleagues can be important for success. For question number 3, if you are to choose one significant and positive aspect of the country's culture that we Filipinos could adopt, what is it and what made you say so? One significant and positive aspect of Russian culture that Filipinos could adopt is their strong sense of community and collectivism, particularly in terms of supporting one another during difficult times. In Russian culture, people often place great emphasis on family, close-knit relationships, and mutual support. This collective mindset where neighbors, friends, and family members actively help one another, especially in moments of hardship or needs, is a trait that can be beneficial to any society. For Filipinos who already have a close connection with family and friends, adopting an even stronger sense of community-oriented support could enhance the country's resilience in facing challenges. It could foster deeper social connections and cooperation, improving the ability to overcome societal issues together. This sense of togetherness, especially in challenging circumstances, could strengthen the Filipino spirit of bayanihan, or communal unity, making it even more vibrant and impactful in the modern